Hey there, water signs. I hope you're doing fantastic. Thank you for joining me for another group session. So if you're Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, these messages will be for you. And I want to say a big thank you to all my new followers and subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me for group readings and on my channels. So appreciate you being here with me. If you haven't been to one of my sessions before, please understand that not all messages are going to resonate, and that is totally cool. If you need a private session, please check me out at my website, kellyfergusonreadings.com. And of course, if you like these sessions, please don't forget to help me out by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Okay, water signs, so Mercury is going into retrograde. Don't worry, nobody panic, okay? We don't have to panic, but there is some things that we can really help focus on, because really the key word for me is reevaluating and reassessing where we're at and where we need to put our focus moving forward. So I'm going to do exactly that in this reading. So let's do one overall energy card for you to figure out where we're kind of looking at in general. Well, there it goes, okay. And, and then we're going to look at more detail. Let me get your message. 1 second. Okay, water signs. Water showing up for you, right? That's how it works. Mending bridges. So this is what's showing up for you. So very clearly, this to me is either a card of you having emotional relationship issues and either having, being in fights and arguments. Possibly you're not communicating with people. Possibly you are trying to find a new way to apply your energy to situations that haven't worked before, and you're trying a new route. But this does feel more relationship heavy to me just by this card. But I am going to pull more cards to look at the details. But look, we got bridges here, we got water, right? So I feel that you are trying to solve an issue in the past. I hear the words out in the cold. And there is somebody, and I don't know if this is you, but there is somebody who doesn't understand why that there's either been a breakdown in communication or why somebody isn't speaking with you or talking to you anymore, okay? So let's take a look at this. I'm going to look at where you're at now and where you really need to evaluate what you should be focusing on and how this is going to work out for you. Water signs, please. Water signs. Well, there we go. There's the first one. Is this where I start? Here? Go. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm hearing someone say they're not listening to me. Okay. And there is some career stuff here as well. Okay. Okay, all right, water signs. So when I'm looking at stuff about what you need to reevaluate, I do feel like with this Mending Bridges card, I do feel that there is a relationship, possibly a work situation for some of you that you were either fighting with or felt that you weren't being treated fairly. I do have the 7 of Wands, which is really a card of someone feeling defensive or feeling like they're being attacked and having to defend themselves or justify themselves and all of that. But here's the other cards that come with it as well. We have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, and we also have the 2 of Pentacles in reverse. When these two come out, this together especially, this makes me feel that you felt that you weren't being treated fairly and that you were doing your best to try to make a situation work, but possibly the other person who was at the table wasn't working with you, or maybe they weren't interested, whatever the case may be, okay? This also does mean in some career sides that you were either trying to get a job or that you didn't feel that you were getting compensated fairly or treated fairly in the job or in a job offer. And so you were kind of like, well, I don't know what to do. Do I do this? Do I do that? A little bit of confusion in terms of what the right thing is for you. And should I stick around and see if this works out or not? Okay. But I feel that there's, okay. And the words that I'm getting right now is comfort in consistency, okay? And I feel that with these cards here, it's also kind of telling me that even though you weren't totally happy with the situation, you didn't want to necessarily change it because you didn't know what else was coming down the line, and you wanted to try to fix this situation, okay? Yeah. But I don't think that it was working for you from the beginning, because if you've been defensive for a while, then this is telling me that there's possibly either you not being in the right place or the people and places that you're trying to work with not being in alignment with you, okay? Sometimes you can't make it fit, right? Okay, so in terms of focus, what do you need to focus on, okay? First of all, we've got the Page of Wands, Page of Swords in reverse. So what this is telling me is don't look back in anger, water signs, okay? If you didn't know or if you don't understand why it didn't work, whether it's with the relationship, why the job didn't offer you the money, why you didn't get the promotion that you wanted, that you really felt that you deserved and you've been proving yourself for, this is telling me that you're kind of looking back and like, okay, what about this? What about this? You possibly might even be looking, you know, like, well, who did get that job? Well, if this person isn't with me, are they dating somebody else? Okay. And this is telling me you're trying to put that stuff to bed, even though you are really curious and really motivated to find out the real answer behind something. This is telling me that you're trying to come full circle and you realize that you're spending your energy in a way that is not useful for you, that's only just bringing more negativity, okay? So I definitely think it's a good idea to just focus on where you're going instead of what didn't work in the past, okay? Because this is exactly what we're talking about, 8 of Cups. Either you walked away from something or something walked away from you, but you're not totally ready to let it go, but you're kind of coming to the realization now with your refocus that by staying in this old energy isn't getting you anywhere. So you legitimately are like, okay, I'm gonna wash my hands, I'm gonna move forward. And what I love after this in terms of your focus is the King of Pentacles. So this is telling me that you are now focused on what can I do for myself? What is working for me instead of what isn't working for me, right? Instead of trying to make a situation that wasn't gonna happen work, now you're like, okay, I'm strong in myself, I can collect myself, I can collect my own skills, knowledge, and ability. There are more fish in the sea, there are more opportunities out there. I just have to find my strength and my grounding and stay with it and know that you are good enough, you are smart enough, etc. But that's the energy you need to hold, not the energy of, oh no, right? And that's kind of like this Mercury retrograde stuff too, right? Again, it's not about all bad stuff, but it is about knowing and understanding where you're at and where you need to focus. This is also about not jumping into anything too quickly, right? So, water signs, I do feel that there's possibly, okay, you might be going through waves of emotion. You know, sometimes you're like, oh, this is great, I'm doing my own thing. And then a day later, you're like, oh man, why did this happen to me? I do see that there's a bit of a cycle happening here with you. And I think that this King of Pentacles really needs to be your focus. Again, this was the last card into where to focus, okay? So this is telling you really are strong. Because the cards that are coming up in terms of the outcome, I would like to change for you if I'm telling you the truth, because I have the 6 of Wands in reverse. And this is telling me, again, you kind of look back in anger. You look back and go, why didn't this work? It should have worked. If this person was doing this, if this person was doing that, okay? But I also have the Death card in reverse. This is you not embracing change. I understand that change can be frustrating and scary at times, but when you hold on to the past, you stay in the energy of the past. And that's why the Success cards are turning upside down, because possibly your focus is still in the past and what didn't work. Whether you realize it's over or not is irrelevant based on where your focus is in your mind. You can know that relationship wasn't for you. You can know that job wasn't good for you. But if you sit here chewing on old bones, that's the energy you're calling and that's the energy you're creating in the future. But look, water signs, in your future is the Page of Pentacles, okay? Notice how we're going from like Pentacles, and now more Pentacles. So advice for you now, water signs, is try to get over it and be your own best cheerleader at this point. Because if you go from the King of Pentacles to the Page of Pentacles, this is telling me, again, we're going backwards or possibly getting pulled into old drama stories that you don't need to relive anymore, okay? Find your fire, find your passion. Start focusing on your career and what you can do. Focus on the things that you like to do. All these passions, all these new ideas that you've kind of put on the back burner because you've been dealing with trying to figure this out, it's time to focus on this. Water signs, you can absolutely do it. I know that that's a challenge of you to stay out of the emotional side of things, but if you want to move forward and go over the bridge, you can't sit there and look and ponder and be all upset about it. Sometimes you have to cut things out and just move forward, okay? I'm sorry, water signs. I always feel like I'm giving it to you like really tough, but you know, friends, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I'm gonna tell you exactly what you need to do so you can be successful. I hope you understand that, my friends, because I'm not gonna tell you, you know, that this is a positive thing if it's not. I want to help you get to where you wanna be. So let's talk to our spirit animals and see if they have any advice or guidance for you on this, water signs. Water signs, please, our spirit guides. Animal messengers. What advice and guidance do you have for our water signs? Advice and guidance for our water signs. Yeah, okay. So we know that you're a feeling bunch, big with emotions and all of that, and I've got koala and empathy showing up, okay? But what it says down here is speak less, listen more, okay? Water signs, this is a huge validation for you of forget looking at the details, forget calling a spade, okay? Call a spade if you want, but then move on from it, okay? Speak less, listen more means if you know what the situation is and you can call a spade, then don't spend any more time trying to figure it out. There probably isn't any more to it or nothing substantial that's gonna, you know, change the whole situation. Any other messages here for our water signs on this? Water signs, please. Here. Yes. Porcupine and innocence. And it's hard being a water sign because you do get hurt many times because your heart is wide open. I get it. Porcupine and innocence. Free yourself from guilt or shame. So what this also means is if you have done something wrong or if you did something in the relationship that maybe you're not happy with, or you felt that you've stayed too long in a work environment and why didn't I leave 5 years ago, it hasn't gotten better, etc. Stop kicking yourself, water signs. Because at the end of the day, every time you do something, you do it with the best intentions based on what you knew at the time, right? So don't kick yourself for looking backwards and going, oh man, I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that. Free yourself from the guilt and shame. Know and accept the steps that you made and where it took you, but then learn from this experience and move on. This also means you have to have a little bit more of a tougher exterior, okay? Doesn't mean you have to be prickly like a porcupine. The reason why she has quills is to protect her soft heart, okay? So, water signs, you are going to be just fine. You're going to have to pick yourself up, focus on what you can do. Don't focus on the past. There's nothing there for you, okay? And move forward feeling strong. You got this, water signs. I really hope this message helped you, water signs, and to help steer you in the direction of your momentum instead of spinning your wheels. If you enjoyed this session, please don't forget to help me out by giving me a like, share, and a subscribe. And if you need a private session, check me out at my website, kellyfergusonreadings.com. Thank you, water signs.